the topic is photosynthesis. So for performing photosynthesis, there is a system that provides water, that provides minerals and nutrients, and this system is called as transport system. So transport system consists of two parts. The one is called as xylem and the other one is called as phloem. So you can see in the picture, like, this is a plant roots and they have to absorb water and minerals from the soil. So this system is basically involved in the transmission providing of this mineral. They collect, they absorb the mineral in the water and they provide to the specific cells. These are called as mesophyll cells. So this system is very helpful to perform the better way of photosynthesis, and the system is called as transport system. The first part of this transport system is called as xylem. Xylem is a long tube. You can see that this is a long tube and it acts like a drain pipe and it is empty from inside. And the walls are very strong, the walls are very thick. And why the walls are very thick? Because there are some addition particles, substances like lignin. Cellulose is already present, but when lignin is added, it becomes more thick and more hard. So it provides protection and it provides more thickness. So these cells are connected end to end, but you can see that here there is no cell. You can say that no cytoplasm and no nucleus. It means that cells are basically dead cells, and this forms a long tube. And this provides a plant a way in which plant keeps its upright position. So the basic character, I will revise it. Like it acts like a drain pipe and it is empty from inside, and basically the cells are dead cells and they are joined end to end to form a long and hollow tube. No cytoplasm, no nucleus, and the cell wall is made up of cellulose and the lignin, and due to presence of lignin it becomes more hard. So you can see that a gap inside. It means the gap is provided so that why the water can move from downward to upward, and it is only one way movement. The second next slide, you can see that these are the picture electron micrograph, and these are the xylem vessels and they are empty from inside. So they provide water for the photosynthesis process from soil towards mesophyll cells. The next part of this plant transport system is the phloem. The cells are joined end to end and they form a long tube that is called as phloem tube. And in this tube, the cell walls are not broken completely, but you can see that there are small holes, and these holes act as like sieve. So this complete structure is a sieve plate, and this is one cell, this is the second cell. So sieve plates are present between the two cells, and these cells are, because of the presence of sieve, they are called as sieve cells. So where they get energy? Along with them, there is a special cell that also contains cytoplasm, that also contains nucleus, and this cell is called as a companion cells. And these companion cells are very important because they provide ATP to the phloem cell, to the sieve cell. So this complete structure is called as a sieve tube, and it provides a two-way transmission. It means the sap is also moved from here, and it moves towards the point where it has to be kneaded, and then the organic compounds that are being prepared at the end of photosynthesis, like we have glucose that is converted into starch and sucrose. So it is provided with the help of these phloem tubes. In the next slides, you can see the difference between them. Like the wall is thicker here, the wall is thinner as compared to the xylem. There is a one-way flow. It means the water will move and absorb from the soil and goes to the mesophyll cell. And here you can see two arrows. It means there are two-way movement. The one will be about the minerals that are absorbed from the soil, and the other will be organic compounds, organic molecules that are prepared in the leaves, and they go down or to that way where we have to store the things, like in the form of fruits, in the form of root swelling. So there is the difference between xylem and phloem. This is also an example. You can see the picture between xylem and phloem. This is the one way and this is the two way. The walls are more thicker here, the walls are thinner here. Here you can see that is a long hollow tube, but here you can see that the walls are not broken completely, but they have small holes inside them. The next, where they are present in the form of bundles, and these bundles are called as vascular bundles. So first of all, this is a structure. You can see that it is about the root, and in the start you can see some emerging cells, and these are basically called as root hair cells. These root hairs are very important because they control the absorption of minerals and nutrients. And then you can see this is epidermis. After epidermis there is a cortex, and cortex next to the cortex there is endodermis that is involved in the protection. And the next we have pericycle. Pericycle is basically saying sometime it is single layer, sometime it is two layers, so it makes a complete circle. And after that there is phloem, and inside the phloem there is a xylem. So xylem is basically present in the central part, and it is a hollow tube, and next to xylem, like it is a surrounding structure towards xylem that is called as phloem. So these two structures are the basic part of plant transport system, and they form vascular bundles. So these bundles are present in the leaves, these bundles are present in the stem also, and where the side they are present, they are involved in the transmission process of materials, they are involved in the protection process. The next, this is the transverse section of the stem. Epidermis is present but no root hairs because there is no need for the absorption, and this structure provides a way in which some materials are transported, and it also provides the upright position. If the stem is strong, the leaves will be in the exact position. So after the epidermis we have collenchyma and parenchyma. These are the part of the cortex, and then we see that there are some patches of vascular bundle. So this red part, you can see that is a phloem, and next we have cambium cells, and this part is called as xylem. This picture is more clear here. Xylem is present in the central portion towards the pith, towards the storage part, and this part that is present in the center of the phloem and the xylem, that is called as vascular cambium. So this cambium is very important because it provides the starting of the production of the new cells of the xylem and the phloem. So plant will increase in its growth because of this vascular cambium. And this is the phloem. So these are present together in the form of small structure. This is called as vascular bundle. Next you can see a very important structure. This is called as a root. Root has you can say that three basic parts. The first of all, there is a root cap. Root cap is present at the top, at the end part, because here it has to move towards the stimulus of water, and here there could be some structure that can harm the root. So root caps is present to provide the protection. And after the root cap, the small thread-like structures are present, and these are numerous thread-like structures, and these are called as root hairs. So root hairs makes more than 60% of the root, and they are very important because they are involved in the absorption of the minerals and the water. And next, the outermost layer you can see here, this is called as epidermis. So these structures are present outside the root, and they work for the protection of root. Next, this is the slide. You can see that how water enters in the root hair, and then it goes to the plant and then reaches to the xylem. So this is a root cap, these are the root hairs, and this is one single structure. You can see that this is the extension of epidermal cell. These are the soil particles, and between the soil particles we have minerals, we have water. So water will first enter the root hair, it will cross the epidermis, and then epidermal layer of this, and then goes to the epidermal cells, then move towards the cortex, and after the cortex they cross the endodermis, then pericycle, and then there is a phloem, and after the phloem the main portion, that is the xylem. So water has to reach here, so it will move from here, this part, to this part, this part. There are two ways for the movement of the water. The one is called as symplast way, and the other one is called as apoplast pathway. So these two pathways are very important. If the water will move from cell wall to cell wall, from one cell to another cell. For example, if it is present in this yellow layer, that is the cell wall of the epidermis, and then it has to move to the cell wall of the cortex. So if it only reaches or moves inside the cell wall of one cell to other cell, the pathway is called as apoplast pathway. But if the water will cross this cell wall and enters into the cytoplasm of the next cell, the pathway is called as symplast. So these two pathways are important, but water mostly follow the apoplast